Peter McDonald. I've lived in Rothesay for 25 years. So for 17 of those years I was Development Director for the local housing association here. It's a great place to live. The quality of life is very good. We've raised a family here in that time and feel really part of this community now. The past number of decades, probably about 60, 70 years ago, there would be a lot of people living here. In the sort of 20s and 30s, the resident population of Bute was about 12,500. It's now less than 7. But the summer population in those days was probably quite close to 50. Glasgow Fair, this place would be jumping. Got into the 50s and 60s and you could go to Spain quite cheaply. The holiday market fell out of this island and it went down quite badly. In recent decades, the island's been suffering from depopulation really. So the 2011 census compared to the 2001 census, there was a drop in population of 10%. And that's partly because of the demographic of the island. We have a high percentage of people over the age of 60 and quite a lot of young people have left and young families have left. Rothesay's fairly busy in the summer. A lot of seasonal casual work, so lots of cafes and restaurants and things where people will go and work, but nothing really that holds people permanently. We need good quality permanent jobs for people to attract people here. I think the most pressing needs of housing are trying to match the need locally with what's provided. We've got a lot of tenement flats here. People don't really want that style of living anymore, so people want houses with front and back gardens. So a young family wanting to buy a house, our experience when we came here with a young family, you maybe look for a 3-bedroom house, couldn't find one. So there's a need for affordable family housing, I think, for sale, and there's quite a lot of rented stuff for people who need that, but for people who want to come and buy something, maybe move to the island and buy a reasonably sized family house, but it's not too big, that's kind of missing. In recent years, however, I think there's a sense that things are getting better again. There's been a lot of money spent in the town, so investment in buildings and things to make it a better place for people to come to. And people are coming back. And we've also offered Bute as a home to quite a lot of Syrian families who have come here and set up home here. The thing about Rothesay and Bute, there is a real sense of community here. And Rothesay is very accessible to Glasgow. We're half an hour from Wemyss Bay and then another 40 minutes to Glasgow, so we're not remote. There are challenges for more remote islands in this respect. In relation to the job that I do for Highlands and Islands Enterprise across the islands in Argyll, including Bute. So we're active in Bute, but we're also working with organisations in places like Mull, Tiree, Colonsay, Islay, to try and help people develop a sustainable future for those islands. And one issue above all others that come out of those places is housing. And maybe if I can think about a place like Tiree, housing for local people, young people, is not there because 40% of the houses there are owned as second or holiday homes, occupied for a couple of months a year. So empty the rest of the year. So you have young people at home that are stuck with their parents. So what do? They leave. The other aspect is in terms of employment. So the local school, pointing a teacher can't find a house. Has eventually found a house, but took a huge amount of effort on their part. And that example can be repeated on all those other islands I mentioned. What do I want Rothesay or Bute to be like in 20 years? Vibrant, dynamic, with people here. And it's a big island, we can take people. So there has to be investment, I think, in buildings so that businesses can take on shop units, office units and create jobs locally. And there are people trying to do that, but it's an ongoing challenge.